what caused the back injury, and what would you say that level of pain was?
Picked up a drink bottle. And probably a 10 out of 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Morokai with Two Eyes. We're back on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. Survivor winner, Alex Frost, mate. It is a pleasure.
I don't know about winner, mate, but that is my name, yes, Alex Frost. I love that voice, that start-off voice. That was perfect.
Yeah, it's a good intro when he gets it first shot.
Man, I wasn't expecting it. It was second shot, but I wasn't expecting it.
Don't expose.
200 episodes in, I've practiced it a bit.
Wow, 200, really?
Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah, I think it's past 200
it
now.
might be.
Yeah.
We didn't even do a special because our 100 special was something.
Our 100 special. We got high halfway through, and then just an hour of us just eating ice cream on air.
Cake. And just talking about ice cream.
But enough about us.
Yeah, we got the one, the only.
Yeah. We want to know everything about.
Mate, I'm an open book today.
Oh, perfect.
I'm an open
this is
book.
perfect.
Always an open book.
Survivor.
Yeah. You want to go straight into it, eh?
Start for the start.
Let's just go straight into it.
I want to know the chop some heads off line.
So I can be a pretty relaxed guy, pretty cool, calm, collected, but that doesn't mean I won't pull that sword out and chop some heads off when they need chopping.
Yep.
I just added the audio into
the clip.
Mate, was there multiple different clips or different parts of video where you had a bit of catchphrase or you were talking and there were some things that weren't used that you went, fuck, that was good? Or was that your top?
It didn't get much better than that.
I would have loved to see the other attempts.
Didn't get much better than that. But in saying that, so when I was on the phone to the producers, you know, they were kind of doing a bit of a
It's on. Thank God. Sorry. I was like, if your mic's not on. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so I was on the phone to one of the producers and they were like, you know, trying to get information about me before I went on the show. And then I can't remember what exactly they were asking, but then I said, you know, I said it a lot cooler beforehand than what I actually said on the show. But I was like, you know, if someone double crosses me, I might just pull that sword out and slice some heads off. And I said it really cool.
Okay.
Anyway, so like, that's awesome. Like, and then
we love that energy.
Exactly. From that, she was sold. And then I'm out there. So fast forward, you know, 2 months or whatever, and I'm actually out there in the wilderness or whatever you call it,
on an island.
And the producers have gone,
you're not Geelong, mate. There's water around.
And the producers have gone, hey, say that really cool line. Do you remember that line you said when we were chatting to you on the phone? And I was like, no, not really. And then they were trying a lot
of cool things.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to prompt me, and I was like, oh yeah, all right, I remember. I'll give it a go. And then I stuffed it up. I'm pretty sure I stuttered, and I'll you know, pull that sword out and chop some. And I said it with no confidence.
Yeah.
And they ran with that. So that was the best line I had on the show. Yeah,
because you're a pretty slick kid. You can get some of the.
Very slick.
I reckon I can hear that what you said on the phone. I reckon it did sound good, but it must have just been the nerves of like. Was it? It would have been nervous having so many cameras.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Did in the back of your head, for a lot of things you were doing, were you going, "Oh my god, this is what everyone's going to see"? Like, were you kind?
Yeah.
Did
you
kind of
forget about the cameras on you?
Like later on?
Yeah. As you go on, you do. Obviously, I wasn't there that long, so I can't speak for the others.
We'll definitely get into that.
But yeah, at first it's very daunting when you arrive there. You kind of they like to keep the show for us as real as it can be, right?
Okay.
So they won't talk to us unless they have to. They won't you know.
Do they feed you?
No. Well, okay. So you get the rice and beans that you get. You only get so you get a certain amount for say 5 days.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they go, you know, in the next 5 days plus maybe a few more days, you don't know, you'll be getting more rice and beans. So you kind of have to like ration it out. Not that I would know. I didn't do any of that. Like I kind of just chilled most of the time, and I don't know, the older people did that. Yeah, the chef dude did that. But yeah. So that's the only food you get unless you win a reward. But you also get, before a challenge, you do like a medical check, and before the challenge, you'll get either an apple or a banana. One of the two. Right. Only on the days where there's a challenge. So that's the only other food you'll get that you don't see.
Because the challenges look pretty grueling.
Oh, man.
Were they also like the days that you yourself, whilst you were there, though, like, was that like, I cannot wait for a challenge day? Like, is that like everyone at the camp's like, oh, yes, challenge day, like, let's go? Or are you like none the wiser? Like, you just sort of like wake up and it's like, all right, we're now getting taken away to a challenge. Like, we're doing this, okay.
It's a good question. But yeah, because you don't really know if you're going until... All they will say to you is 5 minutes to a walkout. Oh. And then, so 5 minutes to a walkout, and then you're like, oh, right, I got to grab my my stuff, get ready. Because every time you leave, you got to take your stuff with you.
Yep.
Just in case you leave, basically.
Yep.
Anyways, so, yeah, that's the only notice you get. So you don't really know until that moment. But in the moment, I was kind of, I don't know what I expected. I was like, I don't know, I was kind of keen for it, kind of nervous. But after about like day 4 or 5, the challenges were really hard because you were so like deprived of food.
Yeah. Yep.
And you don't realize how much energy food actually gives you until you've eaten this.
Did you ever go hunting for berries or like try to spear a fish or anything?
Mate, I'll have you know they cut this, right?
They
cut this.
Some juicy
They
content.
cut this. I caught a fish with nothing but a bean, a hook, and a little bit of wire, and I caught a fish. Anyways,
why would they cut that? That is
I don't know. I was out there hunting alone, and I just thought I'd try it. Right, everyone was trying all day. I thought, man, like, give it to me. So I grabbed the little wire with the bean, chucked the bean on it, and then I put it in, and I shit you not, within the first 10 seconds, I felt the little wire, and I've never been fishing. I don't know what this is, so I felt the wire pulling. Sorry. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, am I snagged? Yank it up. There's this little, like, bubbling...
snagged in my bean in the water.
Have you guys seen Lord of the Rings? I look like Gollum sitting on the edge of a rock, hooking up a... Anyway, so I yanked this fish out, and it's, like, blubbing or whatever it does. And then, so I'm there with it, and I don't know what to do, right? So I'm like, man, I got a fish. Anyway, so I run back to camp. And then they're all like, yeah, he's got a fish. I was like, sweet. Like, what do I do? Anyways, they're like, all right, you got to kill it. I've never done anything like that in my life. And I hate fish, mind you. The thought of fish, if I eat a fish, I vomit. I swear to you. So anyways.
You're out here fishing with beans.
I didn't expect to catch anything.
You must have been so fucking bored. You don't even like the food.
I think I just wanted to prove my worth in the tribe.
I can respect that. That's fucking...
But then, mind you, it was the littlest fish in the world. Anyway, so I ran back to camp. Everyone's like jumping like we were some, Amazonian tribesman or something. Anyways, so then we put the fish down on this like chopping board thing. And we had a guy who was in the Australian military, SAS, so like special forces, huge unit.
Is that Mark?
Yeah. Beast, legendary guy too. Anyway, so he walks over and hands me the knife. And I'm thinking, I got to be a bit of a man here. So I grab the knife. Marky, what do I do? So he's like, all right, you gotta chop the head off the fish. Anyway, so I'm like, all right. So I hold the fish down. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. He's like, you got to do it, man. So anyways, I put the knife on its neck. And I start like kind of weakly like chopping at it.
Sorry, how big was this fish? Like
probably
this worth, I reckon. Oh, so what?
Not even a fish finger.
What? 20 beans worth?
20 beans, bro. 20 beans. And the thing, we lost so many beans trying to catch this damn thing. I'm slowly chopping this thing. Mark's like, mate, nah. And then anyway, so its frills are going up. And they were spiky, man. So they spiked my hand. So I like jumped back and dropped the fish. It's blubbering around and stuff. I've dropped the knife. And Mark's like, mate, come on. And anyway, so I grabbed the knife again. He's like, you got to go harder. So I chop it. And it's really bad, but the head's like kind of half off. And he's like, mate. And everyone's like it's not screaming, but squirmish. And anyway, so I found the courage and did it. Chopped it. Anyway, so Mark's like, oh, I'll teach you how to gillet it or whatever. whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I took it apart, and then, man, I hate fish, right? And I was so hungry. He pulls out this little yellow sack from the fish, and he goes, "This is a delicacy. What's the word? Delicacy. Delicacy in some countries."
Oh boy.
Yeah, my bad.
Perfect.
Yeah, he goes, "It's that word."
Delicacy, yeah.
A delicacy in some countries. It's a like pregnancy sack of the fish, and he's like, "Try it," and I was like, "Oh man, I can't say no." Mark's telling me to eat something, and I was that hungry, so I ate it. It was actually really delicious.
Oh.
And then that night was the first night I voluntarily ate fish. And mind you, it was only like that much fish, like it's probably 3 beans.
Mate, to
worth.
catch it alone is fucking awesome.
I know. And then imagine you're watching it back on TV and you get cut.
I was going to say, were there moments on Survivor where you're like, I've made a right fool of myself and the world's going to see it? Like, did that ever...
Or
did you ever worry about
that?
that?
Or maybe even said the wrong
Or
thing.
like, or you're like, oh no, I hope this doesn't get twisted. Because I feel like you being you, like I look at you as like just really like entertaining bloke, like easy to go to, chat with and all that.
Right.
So my like perception was I was like, oh, he's gonna go on there and sort of just try and be that clown character. So like build those relationships, maybe play the game as your promo said. You know, you really love to study the game and all that. So I thought maybe that's the way he's gonna go in with it. But
and it only takes some evil music in the background to kind of twist your character.
It does, doesn't it?
It really
does. Look, mate, I think the biggest time I made a dick of myself was when I did my back. And left after 2 weeks voluntarily. I think that's the worst it can get, right? To give up on Survivor.
That's still to this day.
Like,
Lee, I love it, mate.
You set me up for this.
Lee lost it at the first elimination.
It's so funny because I'm watching. I'm like, my mate's on Survivor. Like, no one ever wants to be the first guy voted off. Like, no one. And they're sort of speaking. They're like, I think we're going to vote Alex off. He's not really adding much. And I'm like, no, don't get my mate off first time. That's shit. As soon as you get injured, I love though. You go to tribal council and you're like, hey guys, I'd really appreciate it if you vote me off. Like, I'm no help to you, so I don't want to be here. And then your whole team is like, nah, mate, we're going to keep you. You're sitting there like, no, please. I don't want to be.
I just wanted to go home to the Xbox, mate.
I don't think I can catch another fish.
I can't do this. I'm out. I'm done. They're like, nah, we'll keep you. So you stay. And then I think the next one, they're still thinking of keeping you. And you're like, I'm actually going to get up and walk out.
Yeah,
like,
genuine.
I do not want to be here.
Mate.
So for people who don't know, how did you what caused the back injury? And what would you say that level of pain was?
Picked up a drink bottle. And probably a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's not good.
I always remember this. I saw a doctor say once, you know how like you go to doctors and then there's like a scale of 1 to 10 of pain and they go, how are you feeling? And then people go like, oh, 5 or 6. And I remember a doctor being like, if you point to a 10, you must feel like you're burning alive right now. It's the worst pain imaginable. So would you say it was a 10?
Maybe not a 10.
So yeah.
Maybe a 9.5. I wasn't burning alive, but I was close to it.
Mate, I would have hated that. Just the injury, the back pains too. Did it feel like something popped, or what was the?
Man, I don't know.
Just a shock.
Yeah, I don't know. Just hurt. Just hurt, bro.
What was the bathroom situation like?
Bathroom. Drop toilet. So it was a drop toilet. And toilet paper. You just had to chuck sawdust on it afterwards. Yeah, that was about it. Had hand sanitizer there.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you at any stage yourself, again, like maybe some footage that was never seen before, or that maybe cut, but did you go immunity idol hunting at all?
Yeah, 100%.
Like yourself?
By
did you
myself.
catch anyone out doing it and you saw like, oh, wait, what are you doing?
We all kind of we all caught someone finding an immunity idol. I had a bit of a look, man, but I didn't get too far. I don't know, takes a lot of it sounds like I'm lazy, but it takes a lot of energy. I swear to God, it takes a lot of energy to walk around in that heat, man. So yeah, I mean, I didn't find any, but
because I feel like if I was on the show and like just doing my own thing, if I saw someone then be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" and find me, I would get so mad. I'd be like, "Leave me the fuck alone."
Yeah,
like don't follow me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, or I saw even in instances where like someone would find an immunity idol and then they're like all like waiting at like maybe the bottom of a tree.
Yeah,
and all that. I'm like, mate, like everyone knows that you have one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then trying to even be strategic with that, I feel like that's way too much pressure.
It's stressful, man, and it's hard too because you got to remember you got a dude with a camera and then a dude with a microphone chasing you too. So it draws a lot of attention. It's like kind of hard to sneak off. So when people do pull off sneaky stuff on the show, I'm like, oh, hats off to you because it is tough and everyone's always watching each other because there's not much else to do.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, man, the only time I really thought I was in for a chance for an immunity idol is I thought I was pretty smart for this. There was a group of cameramen and microphone people hanging around this one spot and no one else was there. I'm thinking, why are they hanging around there? So then I went over there, but another 4 people followed me, so couldn't find anything. But yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard to sneak around.
It would be hard, especially if you're trying to sneak off and you hear that cameraman plonking behind you sprinting.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's
So what would you say was the best experience on the show, and what would you say was the worst, other than your back? Like something that was maybe a bit unexpected. You're like, this, like the whole day, I've actually done nothing. Like I'm bored shitless. Yeah, and the tribe's done nothing. We're just sitting here.
Yeah,
was there anything like that?
It is really boring when you're not doing stuff because obviously it's TV, right? They're chopping up the best bits, but then for 80% of the time you're sitting there doing nothing, and it's terrible. But probably the part I loved the most. Again, there's 2 parts to this. So the part I love the most is actually when you're out there and you're hungry and you're playing for a reward that's food or, this, whatever it is. There's something that is so great about being there with like however many people's on your tribe, on your team. And you don't really know each other that well, but you've stuck together for like a week or so now, 2 weeks, and you start to build this like
foundation, like relationships.
Yeah,
yourselves.
Exactly. You start to become like a close knit team, and then when you're out there doing the challenges, it sounds funny because it's just TV, but it really does feel. It's so like empowering when you've got someone there with you and you're competing against 2 other people that want it just as bad as you. And you
side by side,
exactly, man. And they cut this from the show as well. But I actually every one-on-one challenge, I actually won every single one of them. And there's a feeling in that that's just so amazing. And then you get back to the team and they're all so pumped because you've got another point on the board. But yeah, and the feeling of not proving yourself wrong, but giving it your all in challenges. That's an amazing feeling as well.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's probably the highlight for me.
When did we'll finish on this before we go into more stuff. Your promo was based around you being a gamer.
So I'm a bit of a gamer. I love to game, and I also love the strategy that comes with it. Survivor definitely is the ultimate real-life video game. I feel like I know the game of Survivor pretty well. I've had a lot of, late-night marathons watching Survivor, thinking that I could do it better than everyone else on the TV. So now I'm finally here, put to the test.
Yep.
Now, we know you, and we know you definitely are a gamer.
Love a game, yeah.
I remember back in high school, like early days, you loved Gears of War. There was a
massive, big Halo nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Took some school days off to play Halo with a few other mates from high school as well.
Still do.
When they were like, gamer Alex, I'm like, yeah, 100%. But then they chucked your promo into an arcade where you're talking about how much you spend time in arcades. No,
plus just randomly running along a beach.
Yeah.
Which I don't know whenever you've done that.
Mate, I couldn't believe it. And then I was just thinking, while I was in that arcade, while they're filming, I'm thinking, man, like, what kind of guy are they going to make me out to be? What's Australia going to think of me? Like, because every show has that nerdy guy, right? Yeah. I'm going to be that guy, like sitting there playing Pac-Man or something. So anyways, when we were there, they're like, all right, do some things you'd normally do in an arcade. I was like, I've never really been in this. Like, what do you want me to do? What's going to...
We said that. We fucking said that.
Like, what's going to look the coolest? So, yeah, and then even the chick that was working at the arcade that opened it up for us was like, oh, so you come to arcades often? And I was like, honestly, not really. Like, these...
Tokens, tickets, what do I win? I don't know.
Exactly. But because when they were on the phone to me, they're like, surely you have hobbies. Like, what do you... Like, what are your hobbies? What do you do?
So did you just like throw things out on the spot? Like, did you sort of panic and you're like, gamer? And they're like, right, we can run with that. Like,
I said gaming, and they're like, oh yeah, like what else? And I was like, seriously, nothing. They're like, and they're like, do you do activity like sport or anything? I was like, oh, sometimes I go for runs. So that's where they got the running from. And
there it is.
Perfect, beautiful.
And the sport, the gaming. So yeah, it was it was interesting going in with that, and I didn't know how they were gonna make me out to be. And then even looking at my outfit, I was like, yeah, I really do look like a geeky gamer that's like never done exercise in his life.
Were there a lot of like cuts in the set, or did they just film everything and then like they then run off with that and do their own thing, or were they like, all right, cut, like, can you do this now?
As
like in the promo
itself?
In
the promo, yeah, a lot of cuts in the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the promo, it's like stop, start. You know, do this now, do this. Ask us questions, and they cut it in and out.
Yeah.
On the actual show though, none of that. Like, it's all just on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I would think if I honestly, I feel like it's that Big Brother effect where maybe after like day 4 or 5, you just get used to your environment, you forget about the cameras. But I feel like those first 4 days on the island, I could see myself saying a few things like at the camera, them cutting, and then with all that time you're alone, like maybe just laying on the sand and just being like, fuck, should I have said that?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that going to get twisted? My tone was a bit off, actually.
So true. So true, man. Yeah, it causes so much overthinking.
Oh, sorry, one more thing before we go. I have to notice, you know how there is that time where you get used to the cameras? Just a normal conversation you'd have with a mate, and then maybe you're talking about something stupid you did in high school or something that might be slightly a little bit illegal, but it's nothing too bad. Do those conversations happen in front of the camera when everyone gets used to each other? And again, you're spending 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
What else are you going to talk about? You may well talk about some crazy stories.
Yeah, for sure.
That did happen?
Things like that do happen. Like, because, after, as you said, the first couple of days, everyone kind of gets more comfortable. And yeah, so when everyone's in a group setting and you're all just talking about stuff. Yeah, man. Like, that's it, bro. Like, heaps of random stuff gets said. But I'm trying to think of some examples, but I can't. But you want to know something funny? Actually, one night we're all. It's not that funny, but one night we're all.
Great setup.
It's actually not funny at all. Actually, it's really sad. One night, I don't even know why I thought it's not even on the topic, but so one night we're all.
We're in the last minute. You're good.
I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna lay on the beach later and be like, why did I say that? Anyway, so we're all asleep, right? And when you're asleep, you don't really know what's going on, because you're asleep. So. Man, I shouldn't have. I don't know.
Man just comes asleep for the first time.
That's a nightmare about fish eggs. Sorry, but you were sleeping.
But anyway, so I was a pretty heavy sleeper. Anyways, so during the day, like our clothes would get all wet and stuff. And we'd start up a fire and dry them by the fire at night. Anyways, so I woke up in the morning. And then someone's like, oh, wow, last night was crazy. And I was like, what? Like, what happened last night? I slept like a log. And they're like, oh, didn't you see? Like, everyone was up. Like, woke everyone up. It was right near your head. I was like, what? What was in my head? And then they're like, oh no, what's her name? I forgot her name. This is so bad. I'm going to say Kylie for now.
Yep.
Kylie's shoes, have a look at them. I was like, what? So I look over at Kylie's shoes. There's nothing but a sole left of them. They've got holes all in them. They're pretty much melted to a crisp. And they're like, oh, yeah, it nearly caught you on fire. I was like, what? Kylie's shoes caught on fire, and was like, burning up, and one of the cameramen were all dead asleep, and it could have started a fire, and one of the cameramen ran over and had to put it out. I'm surprised he didn't wake up. Yeah. It was like right near. I was like, nah, wow. And then shoes are just sitting there in this little crisp right near my head where I was asleep.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I don't know how that story came up. But
You wake up and it cuts to you like your TV time, and it just cuts to you with like a fire burn mark on the side of your head. Just so challenge day is gonna be tough. Like I had a rough night's sleep last night. And something not so chill happened.
Exactly.
Guys, that was Morokai with 2 eyes, and we'll see you in the next one. Boom.